This is my iPad Pro 9.7 from 2016. The battery died after about 4 years, and the biggest problem with that is you can't tell when the battery dies. Like, it's on an iPhone, you would find out because it would say battery health under settings battery. It would say service, and then it would tell you what your maximum capacity is. But for the iPad, they don't allow you to have that information. So it's unfortunate that you don't have that information. And so to find out if your battery's shot, it's a little difficult. I've mentioned before you can use a Mac computer hooked up to your iPad and use coconut battery. But outside of that, it's not very easy. One thing you can check is closing all of your apps, maybe going to low power mode, and what do you call it? Charging up your iPad and seeing if it starts discharging throughout the day without you using any apps. So over here you can see under settings battery, I only have 4 apps running in the background, sort of, and it's not even running that much. But in 24 hours, it used to be at 100%, but it's drained all the way down to, you can see from midnight down to 9 p.m., it's drained down to 75% doing nothing. So I think that's indicative of a bad battery. So again, it's unfortunate that Apple doesn't allow us to see what our battery health is on our iPads. They removed that functionality years ago, kind of around the time Batterygate happened with the iPhones. So anyways, this old iPad needs a battery change, and so if you have an iPad and you want to see if it needs to change a battery, I think if it's discharging on its own, doing nothing, it's probably time for a battery change. That's my guess. And also, you can probably try running the iPad, and if you're watching like Netflix, it only lasts an hour or two. Probably needs to change the what do you call it, battery, because Netflix should last around 4 to 5 hours. So that's another test you can do. So you can leave it idle and see if it starts draining. Number 2, you could try running Netflix or YouTube. It should last easily over 4 hours, but on this iPad, this runs around like less than 2 hours. So battery is definitely like half of what it used to be. The last thing that can happen is when you're down to like 30%, it'll just die. The battery will just die. Indicative of a bad battery is at a certain percentage, like 20 or 30%, it'll just go down to zero instantly.